Welcome to the F5 Application Security Manager Web Application Firewall Demo Series. In this demo we'll show how to protect web applications against CSRF attacks or cross-site request forgery using F5 Big IPAS.